What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another review for Monday Night Raw. This one is from February 26th, 1996. Tonight, we are getting the two opponents for WrestleMania face to face. I can't recall many back and forth in ring promos since doing these reviews. Maybe they do talk show segments like King's Court or the Brother Love Show or backstage split screens, but we will see what happens here tonight. When Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels go face to face, according to them, I guess. We'll see what they mean by face to face. It's always different. Our first match of the show is Jake Roberts versus Isaac Yankem DDS. This is technically Roberts' first match on Raw. Should we add him to the contention for the Dominance Award this year? You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I don't think he'll get too far, but you never know. Maybe he'll get like 8 to 9 clean wins on Raw and then kind of just disappear. The dentist takes control for most of the match. He tries going for the DDT, but Roberts holds onto the ropes and he hits the DDT for the win. Jerry Lawler was being paranoid of the snake the whole time during this match. Please don't tell me that we're going to get a feud between these two. And not because of Jake, obviously, more because I don't want to see Jerry Lawler in a feud. Then we see another vignette for Ultimate Warrior. Talk about the new generation. We go from Jake Roberts and Jerry Lawler to the Ultimate Warrior, and we also have Roddy Piper as the president. Feels like WrestleMania 7 is next week, not WrestleMania 12. Up next, Diesel takes on Sparky Plug. Actually, I don't think they call him that anymore. He's just regular Bob Holly now. After what he did to Undertaker's casket last week, Diesel is nonchalant walking out here, but during the match, he does look at the mat and remembers Taker pulling him under back at In Your House, so I guess he is scared after all. Instead of trying to finish the match quick, Diesel is out here actually selling for Holly. I wouldn't think this match was going to be anything more than 2 minutes. After a commercial break, though, Diesel nails a jackknife and gets the win. He starts to smile and laugh and does the taunt where he wiggles his fingers and pretends to be scared. He only does this after he realizes Taker wasn't coming out. But as he starts walking to the back, Taker's music hits, it goes dark, and when the lights come back, Undertaker is in the ring. Diesel again showing that he's not scared. He sprints to the ring, but again the lights go out and Undertaker disappears. Then a third time, but then Taker appears on the screen and tells Diesel that it won't be that easy and that he is the master of mind games and that he will see him in the dark side, which also means WrestleMania for The Undertaker. So the match is set for Anaheim between these two. Interested to see how long that match goes. They could go 15 plus minutes and just suck the life out of the entire building with the slowest paced match possible, or if they go about 10 minutes and just go all out, they just hit all their big moves to each other in 10 minutes. That would be a better version of this matchup. The fact that we've seen Undertaker in slow ass matches, I'm not really interested to see this match at WrestleMania, but I'll sit through the build because at least I'm interested in that. Next up, we have Shinobi versus Ahmed Johnson. Goldust calls in during this match, has some seductive words for Roddy Piper, asks,
To you I have but one request. When does Goldust get to play that bagpipe?
so Goldust continues to make everyone question their manhood. Johnson gets the win with a Pearl River plunge, and that's it for him. I don't know what he's doing at WrestleMania, if anything. Later in the show, the hotline for the WWF is going to answer if Goldust and Roddy Piper are an item. What? Where did this come from? Where would anyone get this assumption from Goldust calling into commentary? Then we get another vignette for Mankind, again in the dungeon playing with a rat. Listen to what he said.
You understand that mankind is in pain. Mankind is suffering. Mankind is in agony. The time has come to relieve that pain, which will be better for me, but not so enjoyable for all of you. Mommy, leave the light on. I'm coming home.
A bunch of nonsense. I don't know if any of that makes any sense to anybody, but it doesn't make sense to me. But that's what we are looking forward to when he debuts, those type of promos. Now we get the face-to-face between Shawn and Bret with Vince in the middle. I don't know if I would still consider this a face-to-face promo like we are accustomed to now. Shawn comes out and kisses everyone on his way to the ring, and to make sure Daddy Vince doesn't get jealous, he gives him a hug and a kiss too. Vince asks Shawn the first question, if he thinks Bret is really best. Shawn says that he has the most respect than anyone else for Bret. Puts Bret over nicely here, says that when it's all over, he might be the best there ever will be, but at the moment, in 1996, Shawn is the best there is. Bret says that as champion, it's not his job to beat Shawn, instead it's Shawn's job to beat him. and it will not be that easy. It will be the biggest dogfight he's ever seen. He's had some bigger opponents than Shawn, but Brett technically didn't beat them, so he can't even use that as an example. I guess he could use the fact that he survived guys like Undertaker and Diesel, which I think now was a good thing to not have Brett beat those guys. Legitly, because then how would a guy the size of Shawn be able to beat Brett? I don't think that's why they did those finishes, but looking back on it, now it makes sense. Roddy Piper then makes his way out to the ring. This is where he makes the announcement that their match will be a 1 hour Ironman match, so there will be no fluke winner or countouts or DQ. The man with the most falls in 1 hour will be the winner. One of the matches I was looking forward to when I started doing these reviews. I watched this match like 5 times before 2020, and while it's not the most entertaining match that I can remember, Brett and Shawn wrestling for 1 hour is something you would show aliens to show what our society has accomplished on Earth. That's how monumental this match is, in my opinion. There's probably been other better Iron Man matches in WWE and other promotions, but Shawn and Brett was the first ever on the big stage. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, and if there's going to be any extra animosity between these two from now until WrestleMania. Next up, we have Yokozuna versus Owen and Bulldog in a handicap match. Yokozuna doesn't go down for a while, but eventually they double team him to get him off his feet. Cornette also helps by distracting the ref a couple times. Owen though misses a splash and Yokozuna able to make it back to his feet. This is when Big Vader makes his way to ringside, but Cornette stops him before he gets in the ring because he thinks Owen and Bulldog has it covered. Yokozuna clotheslines both of them and Vader gets in the ring to beat him down anyways. Ahmed Johnson and Jake Roberts run out for the save, and Vader, to his credit, was still willing to fight both of them until Jake pulled out the snake. Not that snake. The long one. Well, I guess they could still be confused for the other one, but you know what I mean. 6-man tag at WrestleMania between these guys. Probably what's going to happen. It was supposed to be Vader versus Yokozuna, but they might have changed it to get more guys on the show because I think they could get away with a 5-minute brawl between Vader and Yokozuna if they wanted to go that way. But they're probably just going to turn it into a 6-man tag. Next up, we have another Larry King parody with the Huckster and the Nacho Man. Some old jokes about their bodies being rusty and their hair balding. Billionaire Ted calls in. Huckster and Nacho Man get into a fight over who will win their upcoming match, and Huckster gets tired of the Nacho Man calling him brother. I'll admit this was a little funnier than last week's. It's maybe because I understand the inside jokes being made about Hogan and Savage instead of the jokes against Ted Turner, which I have no knowledge of his life or what he did besides run WCW and that he owns TV networks. In this sketch, they also brought up Elizabeth and Macho Man getting mad that Hogan knows what's going on with her, and they complain not wanting to lose to each other and how much they use the word brother. But, anyways, that's how they end their shows, and this episode will get a good grade. Quick matches, but they all had a purpose for storylines. Even Ahmed versus the Jobber Shinobi, aka Al Snow, spoiler alert. That was just for us to remember that Ahmed was on the show to lead us for the end of the show with Yokozuna and what they did there. And also for Goldust to call in, so that match had a reason to be on there. And then the segment with Shawn and Brett was also pretty good. You would think going into WrestleMania they would put more focus on ending the show with their actual wrestlers, but I guess they thought that the WCW parodies were more important. By the way, I haven't mentioned anything about WCW or Nitro in the last couple of weeks, and the reason for that is that I think I'm going to be waiting on that. For sure, Raw reviews are going to continue unless I lose the ability to make them. We will go all the way to 2014 with the reviews. Now, in between now and then, anything can happen. If you're still here, you can leave if you don't want to hear any of this. I'll catch you guys on the next review. But yeah, maybe down the line we can add a Nitro review, or down the line a SmackDown review even, or full pay-per-view reviews instead of just quick mentions on these Raw episodes. So that's why I won't be keeping up with Nitro anymore. I want to try and keep anything I haven't seen before out of my mind. So if I do end up doing the reviews for these shows, I can go in a little bit more blind. Obviously, there are moments burnt in my memory that I can't ever experience for the first time again, and I have my opinions already set on those moments, but there are still some matches or moments I have forgotten about that I will get to relive by doing these reviews. But yeah, so to get back with what I was talking about with Nitro, if I ever do Nitro reviews, I don't want to half-ass them by watching them now, giving a quick rundown, and then redoing them for a longer review video down the road. Because besides a couple of big moments in WCW, I don't really know what went on in that promotion. So if I do a WCW review, I can legit say that most of those reactions would be for the first time, which I think comes off a little bit better when you're doing a review and putting down some thoughts and stuff like that. You don't have preconceived notions going in. With all that being said, I'm out. I'll catch you guys on the next one.